Hello, everyone. Thanks for coming back. Another week of Fun and Fit Recharge. It's me and Dr. V today.
And Cliff coming, hopefully. We're just finishing up with a patient emergency, but hopefully Cliff will be able to join us in 5 or 10 minutes.
Before we get started, the equipment you're going to need today is some kind of weight. It can be a ball, a textbook, a water bottle, a heavy bag, so on and so forth, a TheraBand, and that'll be it. And then just yourselves, make sure you have a towel by you, wipe off all your sweat. If you're working out with someone, please wear a mask and have a water bottle handy so we can make sure that you're staying hydrated. If you have any questions, concerns, if you want to work on anything specifically today, please send us a message in the chat so we can address it at some point. Otherwise, please send us an email and we can get back to you and with a little something more personalized. But for today, we're going to get started with a little bit of an upper body movement. So let's start off with our trusty arm circles here. We're going to go forward, do about 10, 12, 15 of these, whatever you would like here.
And have your music on in the background. Makes it so much easier. We don't have any here.
And now we're going to go backwards. Our palms are facing forward for both forward and backwards arm circles today.
And we can do a little hips as well, right, Dre? That's allowable.
You can absolutely move your lower body. You can be walking around. You can do anything as you please. All right, now let's go. Let's do our swimmers. So we're going to be alternating which arm goes overhead. Making sure you're squeezing those shoulder blades when the arms go up.
And if you take your hip, you get a nice hip stretch there. That's why I like to do the hips, because we sit all day in our chairs like glued. And this is just moving it a bit more.
All right, shake those arms out. We're going to take our feet. We're going to go about hip width apart. And we're going to take our right hand. We're going to reach down towards our left foot. And you can bend those knees as you reach. So as I reach over here, I'm going to bend my left knee and I'm reaching down towards my foot. I'm going to take my left hand and I'm going to go towards my right. As you stand all the way up, squeeze your glutes. Do about 10 of these, 5 each side.
I hope everyone had a fantastic weekend. It was lovely and sunny. And if you went out, hopefully you're wearing your masks. And remind everyone else who isn't that they have to wear a mask.
All right, so we're going to finish that up. That should have waken up your hamstrings and your glutes a little bit. So now we're going to do a little bit of rotation, get our core nice and activated. So hip width apart again. Now we're just going to punch across and in front, making sure you're squeezing your core as you reach and you're not just bending through your back.
Oh, here comes Cliff. Can you join us soon?
You're going to do about 10 or 12 of these. Go at your own pace.
We already said, Cliff, that you would be a little late due to patient emergency.
You can take your eyes and let it follow your hand.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Okay.
All right. Hip twist, no, waist twist.
All right. Now we're going to cross one foot over. And we're going to take the opposite arm overhead and off to the side. You can come all the way undone to a neutral position and cross over again and reach over. You can stay in that crossover position. Just reach. When you reach here, you can reach in just one direction, and you can also reach in a few different directions. You can find what stretch works the best for you or what your body needs this morning. Do that about 10 times. Making sure you're breathing, not holding your breath as you stretch. If you hold your breath as you stretch, you're increasing the resistance in your muscles. Whenever you're ready, just go ahead and switch. Switch over the other foot and reach over with the opposite arm. To really pop that hip out, to really get that hip to open up for us.
You want to pop out the hip to the other side?
Yep.
Okay.
you have any balance issues here, you can always go just tandem, and you can pop that hip out just the same way and feel a little bit more stable there. Totally up to you. All right, let's do a few hamstring drives now. So we're going to take one foot out. You're going to reach down with your right hand. Then you're going to reach down with your left hand. Making sure your back is staying nice and straight and it's not rounding. It's what it looks like here. If you're feeling like this is increasing your heart rate, that is perfect. If you remember, we have two types of stretching. We have dynamic and static. Static stretching means I'm going to stretch, reach, and hold it. And dynamic is what we're doing now. We are moving to stretch our body, increase the heart rate, get it prepared for all of the movements we're going to do coming up. All right. Go ahead and stand nice and tall. Now we're going to do a couple knee tucks. And so all that is we're going to stand, we're going to take one knee, we're going to take it up towards your chest. Try to hold it for a second if you can.
Oh, that feels good.
What was that?
Feels good.
Yeah.
And if a little bit of a balance issue, hold on to a chair. Huh?
Yeah.
Like that.
You can hold on to a chair. You can also be seated and bring that knee towards your chest.
Oh, what would that look like?
You're sitting at the edge of the seat.
Sit.
Exactly.
That's even something to be doing right in front of the computer.
Yep. All right. Dr. V or Cliff, you guys have anything that's barking at you? Any muscle groups?
Everything.
You want
Whole
to stretch?
body.
Whole body part.
Huh? Well, that'll take too long. All right, let's do a couple quad stretches then. So we're just going to do a standing flamingo. So Dr. V can actually hold on to that chair if you have any balance deficits. And what we're going to do is we're just going to take one foot, we're going to bring it back, do it as best as we can and bring that leg back, and then you're just going to bring it back down. You're just holding it for a second or two. If that's not too big of a stretch for you, what you do is you take your opposite arm and you reach overhead. Our body works in diagonals, so we're actually elongating the big muscle line when you go opposite arm and opposite leg.
So for everyone who hasn't tweaked to it yet, this week is the World Federation of Hemophilia meeting. It happens every 2 years. It was supposed to be in Kuala Lumpur, and of course now it's electronic, an online platform, and virtual. And it's free for everyone. So just check in, it's wfh.org, and it will give you the link to the registration, register for free, and then you can see the program. It goes through Friday with lots of interesting topics. So even patients, not just healthcare professionals, will benefit from watching. And please do so. And on Wednesday, our center is involved because we talk about patient handheld ultrasound in your home. So please join us.
All right, we're going to get started with a little bit of a warm-up movement pattern here. It's going to be a little challenging, so you're going to need a little bit of space for you to squat. And what a squat looks like is your feet are about hip width apart, your toes are facing forward, and you're just going to pretend like you're going to sit on a chair. So do a couple of those, get familiar with the movement if you aren't yet. All right, so I'm going to demonstrate what we're going to do here. So we are going to go into a quarter squat. We're going to hold. You're going to have your chest up. You're going to be nice and tight in your core here. And your legs are going to be engaged. You're going to have your knees bent, your butt back, and a nice flat back. We're going to hold that for about 10 seconds. And then we're going to go into a bit of a deeper squat. So then now we're going to go into about a half squat. We're going to hold that for about 10 seconds. Notice chest is still up, back is still straight, butt is still back, and my knees are nice and bent with musculature nice and involved. Now for this third depth, you're going to go as far as you can. So for some of us, we might have already hit that, so you're just going to hold for a little bit longer. For some of us, we can get to parallel, and for some of us, we can go below.
Oh,
So,
and some of us need a chair, and that's okay too. Huh?
yeah, you can use a chair for some support. I do want those quads to be engaged. So go ahead and stand up, guys. and we're gonna get started in a few seconds. So get nice and comfy in your position here. And we're gonna get into that quarter squat. Arms can be out in front for a little bit of a balance control. And we're just gonna hold here.
Yeah, and the chair helps support your thighs a little bit if they're already burning.
Yeah, so let's go into phase 2 here and try to go a little bit deeper.
Okay.
I know those quads may be barking, yelling at you already, but let's go ahead and try to push past that initial wall. If you're having any pain, obviously, please stand up, take a seat, take whatever it needs to relieve that discomfort. And last one here, we're gonna go a little bit further. I'm just gonna go to parallel. We're just gonna hold here for about 5 seconds. And up we go. Go ahead and shake those legs out. Do a couple flamingo stretches. Do some hamstring drives. We're going to do that one more time. This time we're going opposite. So we're going to start with our deepest squat possible.
Try without chair.
All right, so we're going to start in a couple seconds here. So you're going to go as deep as you can, and we're going to start there. So ready, 3, 2, 1, and all the way down, or halfway, whichever your depth is. Find your range. Chest up, head up, eyes up, butt back, nice flat back. And up we go to about halfway.
I'm trying to smile. Makes it easier.
If you're shaking and baking, we're almost done. And quarter squat, not all the way up, not nearly as far down. If you're familiar with wall sits, this is very similar to that, except there's no wall to help support you. And up we go. All right, do a couple of those flamingos. There's 3 types of contractions that muscles can perform. There's contraction, or concentric, where the muscles get shorter. Eccentric, where the muscles get longer. And isometric is when they contract and they stay at the same length. So we just did a bunch of isometric positions there for our squat, quads, hamstrings, calves, the core muscle groups as well. Do you guys know which contraction can provide the most amount of strength?
No.
You got anything? It's isometric first, eccentric, then concentric. The downfall with an isometric contraction is I'm only going to gain strength in the position that I'm in. So it's a little defeating. At times you can gain the most strength here, but then I'll just be the strongest in this range of motion. Eccentric is the next one in that. We'll save that for next lesson. A little complicated there. All right, so what we're going to do is we did some knee tucks in our warm-up. Now we're going to incorporate that movement into this next one. So we're going to start with our feet shoulder width apart, or hip width apart, whatever's most comfortable. You're going to take one knee, you're going to drive it up, and you're just going to take your hand and you're going to touch that knee. We're going to go ahead and do that. Perfect. Now we're going to switch.
It's a balance exercise.
That's right. So you're just going to hold for a second or two each time. Now you can go with your arms all the way out if you'd like, and really engage the upper body, the core. You can keep the hands nice and tight and really focus on the balance portion of this exercise.
And for those with some balance problems, they can hold on to a chair, right?
That's right.
Just like that, maybe.
So don't worry about speed or pace or how many repetitions you're going through. Really focus on the quality. So if you have to slow down to get that 1 or 2 second hold when you go up on one leg, it's perfectly fine. Go ahead and shake that out. And now we're going to do same arm, same leg. I'm going to take my right leg up, right hand down. And we're going to hold that for 1 or 2 seconds. Notice these are very different types of movements than we've been doing the last couple of weeks. There's different targets. So if you like this sort of exercise program, let us know. If you like the previous week's exercises where we're pushing through a lot of repetitions and really working up a sweat, let us know. Good. Do we know what plagues our older population as we age?
Balance.
Balance. And then if we have balance deficits, what do we normally experience? Hip fractures from falling. And that usually can lead to a lot of complications as we get older. So the research shows as we get into our 50s, we really want to start working our balance so that we can benefit in our 60s and 70s to prevent all of those falls. A lot of data to support that. That's where a lot of this is deriving from today. All right, today we're going to need a ball. So go ahead, guys, pick whichever.
Light for me, light and yellow.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to go in a half lunge. So whichever leg you want forward is fine. We're going to do both. And so then you're going to take this ball or this weight and you're going to go to the opposite hip. Good. So go ahead and engage your core a little bit more. So Cliff, you're good. Dr. B, instead of reaching out with your hands so much, bring that ball a little closer to your belly and then turn with your core. Aha. And take that to your hip. And then from here, we're going to go up in the opposite direction and then back down. We're doing 10 of these, guys. Got your own pace. I like to hold at each position. So at the hip, I like to hold for a second. And at the top, I like to hold for a second. And what we're doing with this exercise is we're engaging a transverse plane, meaning rotation for our core. A lot of time we think our core is just crunches and sit-ups. And that's how you get your six-pack. And although that can help, you really have to include rotation in any kind of core exercise program, because our body is 3D. We move in 3D. All right, once you finish up those 10, take a small little break, grab a drink of water, wipe off your forehead if you need it, and then we're going to switch. So now my left foot's going to be forward, and take that ball to the opposite hip, and we're going to do the same thing here, keeping that ball nice and tight close to our core, and then up we go. Good. From the side, it looks like this. Bring it to my hip, and I come up. Notice I'm not bending at my back to try to get that ball up. I'm just using my core and engaging. If you're feeling any kind of balance deficit, you can go wider with your feet and feel a little bit more balanced and strong in that position. If you feel like your legs are ready for a little bit of a bigger challenge, you can bring your feet a little closer together and really engage your core. Making sure both feet are pointing straight ahead. If we have any low back pain, do this movement without weight, without any resistance. Just come here, engage your glutes, engage your core, and start introducing some of this rotation. It'll really help. Go ahead and take a break, guys. Grab a drink of water. We'll need that ball one more time, Dr. B.
Oh, okay.
All right. You guys doing okay?
Yeah.
Good so far, right? All right. We're going to do our favorite ground to overhead movement. Take that ball, you're going to touch it to the ground. You're going to go overhead. What the challenge or the focus is today is as you go overhead, you really want to squeeze your glutes. What that looks like from the side is as I come down here, I look like I'm doing a regular squat. And as I pick this ball up, I'm really pushing through my hips and engaging my glutes to make sure that my glutes and my core are engaged as I go overhead. And do 10 of these. You're just going to hold for a second, 2 seconds at the top. We're going to play a little game at the end.
Oh.
All right. That's 10 there. Good. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
This is what we're going to do. So go ahead and take that ball, that weight, get it out of your way. So we've done a lot of balance stuff today. We've engaged our glutes, which are big players in our balance. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to try to go single leg balance. You can have your hands wherever you'd like, at your chest, at your side, whatever's comfortable for you. Pretty easy with our eyes open, right? So now I'm going to challenge Dr. V and Cliff. Let's go ahead and close our eyes and let's see who can hang on the longest here.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, so suck in my tummy. I
Exactly.
think that's important.
Exactly.
Oh, not me.
Ah.
Yeah. Go ahead and take a break, guys.
You won, Cliff.
I don't know, Dr.
No.
V, you lasted a little longer.
Did
Yeah, you did.
Now at home, if you're joining us and you have any kind of balance deficit, please have a chair, a table, a bed, something that's nice and sturdy and stable that you can hold on to if you need to. If you have something and you want to participate, you can also take one finger or a hand, or depending on how many fingers you need, and you can just place it on the table, and that's going to help you quite a bit. The important thing here, as Dr. V has already mentioned, is to engage your core. The more your core is engaged, the easier the rest of the body can function. So now go ahead and switch legs, guys. So Dr. V already went right leg. Cliff, you go right leg. Let's hang on there for a few seconds.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Yeah. Now, if you feel your toes scrunching underneath you, that is your body's way of trying to grasp onto some balance. That means our glutes aren't activating as much, our core isn't activating as much.
Sucking in the tummy button really helps.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
All right, I think Dr. V went 2-0 there.
Yep.
Okay, so let's do that a couple more times with our eyes open. So let's go ahead and do a few sets of elongated single leg balance. A modification to this is you can have your toes just gently touching the floor. And like I said, you can also have a hand, a couple fingers, one finger on something in front of you to assist you in your balance exercise here.
I have my eyes closed again. I think that's very challenging. I've never tried that before.
Yeah. So our proprioception, which is a fancy word for balance abilities, a lot of our information comes through our eyes. So our body knows exactly where it is at all times, but you remove all that information and now the body's depending on your muscles and the tendons and the ligaments. Go ahead and switch legs to give the brain enough information to know how it needs to move, where it needs to move, balance, so on and so forth. Our vision is very, very important in our balance.
But the second time around, it's already easier.
Yes, and so the reason that is your body knows your core and your glutes have to activate. So now there is a brain to muscle connection to accomplish the movement pattern that we have introduced. And so that leads us into consistency. And that's why it's always important when you're engaging into a workout routine or a fitness regimen that you're consistent so that you can achieve a lot of the goals. All right, let's do some stretching. Everyone grab a chair for a stool.
Best part.
I personally am feeling a little tightness in this front portion of my neck from a lot of typing. So we're just going to take our hands, we're going to go right on our collarbones, and then we're going to look up. Nice and easy, don't crank right into it. Remember, stretching is about finesse, it's not a power exercise.
Oh, and shoulder blades back together.
Mm-hmm.
So
You can look off to the sides, and you can find a nice stretch for yourself.
like squeeze that pencil behind in your shoulder blades and on slow.
Exactly. Now as you go side to side, making sure you're not straining yourself too much. But nice and easy.
I definitely feel the neck tightness doing that.
Yeah. It definitely goes overlooked, but with these muscles getting tight over time, you can get tension headaches. You have a lot of neck pain. You can even have jaw pain. They're very thick, strong muscles in the anterior side of our neck. Cliff, Dr. V, you guys have any target areas you want to focus on today?
Stretching.
Mm-hmm.
I love your glute stretch with reach.
Perfect. All right, go ahead and relax that neck a little bit. This isn't so much a stretch, but it's more of a corrective exercise. So you're going to take your hands out in front. You're going to squeeze your shoulder blades back. And you're going to hold that. So let's hold that for a second or two. Now the important part is making sure our shoulders aren't coming towards our ears, but we're squeezing them back and down. Go ahead and relax. And we'll bring those arms up again. You're going to draw those shoulder blades back. There's a dollar bill that you're squeezing between your shoulder blades. You're trying to keep it there. Good. All right. So this next one, let's go arms straight across our body. And we're going to add a bit of a twist to this. So now we're going to lean to one side. We're going to come back to neutral. And we're going to lean again. What we should be feeling is a nice little stretch on that lateral side, maybe even on the posterior side of the shoulder. Now we're going to lean the opposite way. Do 3 times this way. Now you're going to turn your shoulders. So you're going to keep that stretch there, and you're going to rotate. So if my right arm is stretching, I'm rotating to the left. And you should feel a little bit deeper of a stretch here. Go ahead and relax, and let's switch it over. Typically, I'm wearing a black shirt, so now you guys are seeing how much I actually sweat during this class. Go ahead and hold that there. Now let's lean to the opposite side. Now, one of the misconceptions about sweat is the more you sweat, the harder you worked, and that is completely false. Everyone has different sweat rates. And now let's lean to the other side. Good. Now let's rotate. Right. And now let's finish off with that piriformis stretch. Go into that figure 4 position. I already feel the stretch here. If you want something deeper, let's go ahead and reach forward.
Ooh, yeah. My favorite stretch. Are you alternating arms straight?
Yes, so I'm alternating arms. I like the flow of alternating arms a little bit more. And keep the same arm. And now I'm going to reach off to the sides. If you can't get your knee into this much flexion, that is okay. What we do is grab another chair of some sort and place it out in front. And if I only have limited knee range of motion, then I can sit there. And now I can reach with both hands at the same time.
And if you have a chair with an armchair, this is nice because with one hand I create resistance.
Yeah.
With the other I pull over, so quite nice.
So you guys keep going into that. I'm going to switch over to the left leg because my left leg is a little tighter than the right, so I'm going to give this a little more love.
Yeah, mine's my right.
Your right side?
Mm-hmm.
And it's good to know these little tendencies of our body. That way you can pay a little more attention to them. Try to create some balance. If you're unsure of different movements and how your body reacts, you can always make an appointment with Peter, our physical therapist, or myself for athletic training. We can help you with that. It can be a little intimidating to start any kind of fitness program, so don't feel intimidated, ashamed, or embarrassed. All right, let's finish off with my favorite. I like my hamstring stretches.
Okay.
So this time, instead of just reaching, we're actually going to do a static hold. We're going to reach with both hands down the middle, and we're just going to hold it.
1 foot flex, one on the floor.
Yep. And trying to keep those toes up and bring them towards the body. Try to keep that leg straight if you can, Dr. V.
Which one?
The one you're stretching?
This one?
Yeah. So you have to scoot a little closer to the edge there. There you go.
Yeah, you feel it.
What's up?
You feel it.
Yeah.
Sounds
And go ahead and switch. You need Dr. V or Clip?
The pharmacy needs to verify a prescription for Brandon Sure.
Okay.
I'll go.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right, switch legs. Oh man, my left leg is tight. So it took me a really long time to figure out why my left leg is so tight. And when I drive, I have this leg sometimes all the way to the seat while my right leg is extended, pushing the pedals. And then even sometimes when I'm on a long road trip, I'll put my foot up on the dash next to the steering wheel. So in this position, all my muscles are tightening up, especially my hip. And so I used to drive a lot between LA and San Diego, and I would do that a lot. So now my left hip is a lot tighter than the right for that specific reason.
Oh,
That's the only thing I can identify that's different from side to side.
okay.
Yeah, little things like that, little funky things. Yeah. All right, everyone, thanks for joining. If you have any questions, concerns, you want to reach out to us for anything specific or more personal, please let us know. We're here for you all. And check in the rest of the week for some of these other YouTube series. And if you need anything for your care, we're here.
Take care. Be safe.